Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. Peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. I have no special talent, I am only passionately curious. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Science is a wonderful thing if one does not have to earn one's living at it. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. The only source of knowledge is experience. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can live as if everything is a miracle. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. We still do not know 1,000th of 1% of what nature has revealed to us. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Any man who can drive safely while kissing a pretty girl is simply not giving the kiss the attention it deserves. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. All that is valuable in human society depends upon the opportunity for development accorded the individual. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives and not in what he is able to receive. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. He who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. A table, a chair, a bowl of fruit and a violin. What else does a man need to be happy? Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. The gift of fantasy has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge. Technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Pure mathematics is, in its way, the poetry of logical ideas. The hardest thing to understand in the world is the income tax. In matters of truth and justice, there is no difference between large and small problems, for issues concerning the treatment of people are all the same. A question that sometimes drives me hazy: am I or are the others crazy? If you are out to describe the truth, leave elegance to the tailor. Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. I am not only a pacifist but a militant pacifist. I am willing to fight for peace. Nothing will end war unless the people themselves refuse to go to war. It is my conviction that killing under the cloak of war is nothing but an act of murder. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. True religion is real living, living with all one's soul, with all one's goodness and righteousness. Politics is for the present, but an equation is for eternity. I never think of the future, it comes soon enough. Before God we are all equally wise, and equally foolish. We cannot despair of humanity, since we ourselves are human beings. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share. It is time to go. I will do it elegantly. It is strange to be known so universally and yet to be so lonely. Memory is deceptive because it is colored by today's events. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. The environment is everything that isn't me. Whoever undertakes to set himself up as a judge of truth and knowledge is shipwrecked by the laughter of the gods. It is a miracle that curiosity survives formal education. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. The only real valuable thing is intuition. I think and think for months and years. 99 times, the conclusion is false. The 100th time I am right. Only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master. For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. Heroism on command, senseless violence, and all the loathsome nonsense that goes by the name of patriotism, how passionately I hate them. Anger dwells only in the bosom of fools. The distinction between the past, present and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable superior spirit who reveals himself in the slight details we are able to perceive with our frail and feeble mind. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. Concern for man and his fate must always form the chief interest of all technical endeavors. Never forget this in the midst of your diagrams and equations. Information is not knowledge. Force always attracts men of low morality. The devil has put a penalty on all things we enjoy in life. Either we suffer in health, or we suffer in soul, or we get fat. The fear of death is the most unjustified of all fears, for there's no risk of accident for someone who's dead. Without deep reflection, one knows from daily life that one exists for other people. To raise new questions, new possibilities, to regard old problems from a new angle, requires creative imagination and marks real advance in science. Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour, and it seems like a minute. The whole of science is nothing more than a refinement of everyday thinking. Most people say that it is the intellect which makes a great scientist. They are wrong. It is character. An empty stomach is not a good political advisor. I do not believe in immortality of the individual, and I consider ethics to be an exclusively human concern with no superhuman authority behind it. Imagination is more important than knowledge. I believe that a simple and unassuming manner of life is best for everyone, best both for the body and the mind.